Not that. I mean, nothing ever goes perfectly planned because we're just not. uh, I am not a person who perfectly plans. It's just not a thing I do. So it's all whatever happens happens, and sometimes the sound is broken. Mic check on myself. I'm working, so there. I've stopped caring, but I think everything else should be fine. It is it is 20 after 8. It is my fault we're starting late. I am Ross, joining as my co-host Ian, and our special guest for Pumpkin Weeks, Tom. We did have James on the go, and he might join us later. And together, somehow adhering to my crazy schedule, we are attempting to drink Nova Scotia Dry. We, I do love a pumpkin ale. I fell in love with a pumpkin ale at Patty's, being my brewery, my craft brewery, way back in the day, and that was when I was introduced to them, and I said, wait a minute, you can have a beverage, an alcoholic beverage that tastes like pumpkin pie. I am in, just sold. 100%, I'm down.
Mhm.
And I think they've only made like one or two since then. They don't make it every year, and it seems like kind of a you don't always get it. There was several years that Schoolhouse wasn't making theirs, but we do have the selection, including the four main ones from the NSLC, and I added the Schoolhouse one because they're nearby. I tried to check around up here in the Port Williams. I've got 3, 4, 5, 6 breweries in my neighborhood, and they didn't make a pumpkin one this year. There was a lot of Oktoberfest though. Feel like
Can you
that's a different
imagine if they
episode.
all did because of your planning to maybe do them all in one evening? We
See,
might have been here till midnight
see,
and smashed out of our heads if we'd have
the
drunk them all.
the number was just so like if there were 8, yes, 2 weeks, 2 episodes, but with only
Right.
5, I'm like. I don't want to do 2 1 week, 3 the next. And my problem with every time we taste them, and I'm sort of like, did this taste like the one from last week? I can't quite remember. So I just said, we've
Yeah.
done this before with IPAs. Let's just sip everything and see how it goes. That was the plan. Uh, but the really, really bad news is Tom couldn't find all 5.
No, I guess other people in the Upper Tantallon area are also pumpkin beer fiends because they were sold out of about half of them. So I have slightly less than half of the selection, but I'm excited to try them.
Perhaps my method of going to the Upper Tantallon NSLC and buying out all the pumpkin ales for myself, maybe that wasn't the best decision in hindsight.
I feel like my judicial authority is made much easier by only having to choose between two. It's like one of them is going to be better than the other one. So it's
It's true. Do you have you have Propeller and Nine Locks? Is that right?
I have yes, I have Propeller's pumpkin spiced ale, and I have Nine Locks Harvest pumpkin ale.
Now, the reason that I'm doing this again is we do this with the Christmas one sometimes too. Is we try them again. So we have had all of these, and according to what I felt last year, Nine Locks was up there. It was one of my favorites, and
I I don't think I've had the pumpkin spiced ale, pumpkin paddler by Schoolhouse before. But you were saying, Tom, that you may have had it before yourself. It may have been a previous iteration of it. I don't recall having it, Ross, unless you could correct me by going through all I'm not asking you to, unless of course you say no, you definitely did. I don't recognize the can, but of course they may have changed it. That's possible. They'll do that. These companies, they'll just go change and update their cans to make it more exciting.
no, that's the same can they've used for years for that. So
Okay.
if you don't recognize it, then maybe you haven't had it. And the only other thing that we have, you can't actually see, but this is a bowl of syrup, and I have a glass rimming technology here next to it. Curious, Tom, do you have any glass rimming technology with you?
Oh, I'm rimming 24/7, buddy.
Cool. It's really on the ball.
Thanks for that.
Um, in the last couple of years, Ross, when we've done our pumpkin, last year I did what you did and just well, I half-assed it. I'm gonna say what it is. It was on the evening when like 15 minutes from starting. I thought, oh shit, yeah, I was gonna get myself something to rim the glass with, and then I just rummaged through the contents of the cupboard or the fridge and found some old where it was maple syrup from Callister's or something. I threw in the bowl, rather like you've done there. But this year, I've gone out of my way.
Uh-oh.
I've gone out of my way. I saw you earlier on today, and I said, didn't you? I said, I'm gonna I'm going to do it this year, and I have. And I went online and found people's recipes and recommended recipes for what to rim the glass with.
Oh dear.
And I've gone above and beyond. It takes 2 hands to show you this now. So in my left hand here is a wood Rebecca. I'm not even had a beer, and this is how I sound.
This is going to go great.
Rebecca recommended a little bit of honey to rim the glass with, because there was no lemon or orange in the house, so I messed up there because I was just going to dip it in there, to sort of make the edge of the glass wet. And then I've made my own concoction here based on recipes, and they are, of course, pumpkin spice, which is good, cinnamon. It's a lot of them said a bit of nutmeg, but we decided to go against that because there's some of that in the pumpkin spice stuff anyway. There's some cloves. I crushed some cloves specially for it.
Oh my god!
You can just smell the cloves coming through. A pinch of salt, and there was something else in there. I've forgotten what it is. Anyway, it's all mixed in there, and I'm so looking forward to this. Although we've also said in the past that, is it really cheating? Because it doesn't allow really the beer to sell itself. We kind of make it taste like this rather than maybe what the beer should taste like. So it's a very, very interesting point, whether or not you should even do this.
I'm going to go raw, au natural, not rim it, so that we can have at least some sort of comparison of the.
That's a great idea.
Straight up.
I find it could be a great neutralizer, and oftentimes it does help because a lot of these, especially the spiced up, if I remember, and they all say the pumpkin spiced ale or the spice this or the spice that, where they taste more like the spice than they do like the pumpkin pie that they're going for, where a pumpkin pie is a tasty, sweet tasting thing with a little bit of a hint of a spice to it, where these beers in years past, with the exception of the Gravedigger from Upstreet, and we'll get to that, they taste like super spiced up, and you have to pour sugar all over the glass just to get anything out of it.
Fair enough.
So in that case, we're going to start with the Propeller, coming in at 5% ABV. We'll start with the Propeller because Tom's got it. One of the lower ABVs on there is the Propeller Pumpkin. This is spiced ale below that. On the can, we brew this ale using Howard Dill's world-famous pumpkins from Windsor, NS, featuring our blend of seasonal spices, including cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves. So Ian's thing is right. This beer is pumpkin pie in a glass. And that's what they all say. They all say pumpkin pie in a glass, despite the fact that it just tastes more like the spice than the pumpkin. Oh,
you cracked it already.
Oh my,
Rebecca
that smells amazing.
She's going to drink half with me, and she's also, like Tom, she's going au natural, so she doesn't fancy the rimming job that I've prepared, so she's going
right
as nature intended as well, which is jolly decent of her.
It really does smell like pumpkin pie.
It really does. There we go. Ian, you all set? Rim number 1.
Okay, I'm going to just... I'll rim my own, and then pour the thing. Oh, this is exciting. Look, that's... Oh,
you don't have a rim wrangler for all of your rimming needs?
There. Yours looks great.
Oh dear.
How does mine look? Mine looks pretty damn good too, doesn't it? That looks very professional. It does. Very professional. Ultra fresh.
Dripping
and thankfully, because of all this sweetness around, Ross, the fruit flies are no more. Thank goodness. Otherwise,
that's fair.
This could have been a very difficult evening.
That is true.
Can you smell that already, Rebecca?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
The smell coming off the can is is delicious. I'm optimistic.
It's not always a good sign though. I recall a maple bacon ale that I brought to Geek Brow one year, many years ago, that smelled incredible and tasted like battery acid. So hopefully not a repeat of that.
I've enjoyed seeing the descriptions have started getting very detailed in saying, oh, it smells floral, but it tastes malty. And I say, ooh, okay. So you're, if you're paying attention enough, then I like the fact that they can sort of say the smell's different than the flavor, and we'll try to describe both of those for you.
The colors are going to be very similar, aren't they? I mean, they're going to look like
Yes.
pumpkin ale. If it's not like white
It's
IPAs
no.
or dark lagers, they're all going to look this kind of
Coppery
beautiful-
clear, very much so.
Yeah,
The head on it,
Yeah.
look at that. It's
I know.
staying very frothy.
Propeller. They've been in the game a few years. They
Yeah, a
know
little
their stuff.
Are we ready for a bit of this? I'm trying to keep my
Yeah, let's do
am.
it.
Cheers.
cheersies.
Cheers.
Nope, nope. The smell didn't stick.
It's
I like it.
very. It has the nose, the scent of pumpkin pie, but I'm not getting any of the taste of the actual pumpkin.
No.
Really.
And the taste is
Subtle.
nutmeg and cloves. And I'm like, where's the other parts? The
And then, of course, I'm going to be useless right here because having rimmed the glass with nutmeg and cloves and a cinnamon, pumpkin spice and cinnamon, I'm going to. Oh, here come the flies. Welcome. Mine tasted immediately very sweet. I mean, so it is. I almost feel as if I'm going to have to disqualify anything I say because it's going to make it's the only way really is from Tom, who's not drinking it with it amped up, and Rebecca. So bye. See you later.
well, you get the sugariness on the lips, obviously, but once you take a few gulps down the back of your throat, that's where the flavor of the actual beer is coming in, and it's just a nutmeg amber.
It's got this sort of malty ashiness of like a weak stout, I would say. And the smell it smells lovely. I think a lot of the nose is doing a lot of heavy lifting here, but I'm not getting really any pumpkin flavor at all. It's like I'm drinking an amber ale next to a pumpkin pie.
Yeah, with the faint whiff of pumpkin is in there. The body, it's got a great body to it. It's very clean, crisp down the back end. It's quite flavorful. It's just not. I was expecting less. I mean, I was expecting spice, but I never expect the spice to be the predominant factor.
I just took a little sip, a wee sip from Rebecca's glass, which hasn't been tainted with all the stuff that I put in it. And yes, it lacks a little bit of the sweetness, but that I would hope for. But of course, because I've drunk it without the rimming job, obviously it tastes quite immediately less sweet.
It's not a
This
sweet
is-
one,
thi-
which is nice.
What are you saying?
It's subtle. It's not a sweet one, but
Right.
it's still got the spice on it.
You can still taste the spice, the pumpkin spice.
If I tasted this with no can, I would say blindfolded, that's a pumpkin ale.
Okay.
Definitely.
Really?
Oh, yes.
I would just
But
say
it's
that's
not-
a spiced ale. Should a pumpkin ale? I know a pumpkin pie should be sweet. If you ate a pumpkin pie and it tasted like that, you'd send it back. Should a pumpkin ale, where it even says on the side, is pumpkin pie in a glass? So therefore, my question is, where's the sweet?
Well, some of them are too sweet, I find.
No
That's
such
just
thing.
me.
No
Oh,
such thing.
what else do you? I mean, pumpkins themselves.
Mm.
By the way, do you pronounce the second P?
As best I can.
Right. Okay.
We've
I
been
don't know.
over my very condescending look at Nova Scotian / Canadian / North American rural accents and the lack of correct pronunciation of things.
Pumpkin, or pumpkin.
Pumpkin, yeah.
Yeah, pumpkin. Do you ever the whole thing? This whole pumpkin thing. This whole pumpkin thing. Do you ever eat pumpkin as a vegetable, or do you only ever have it in as a pie, or tasting of pumpkin spice in drinks and coffees and everything else, and candles and everything else, or smelling of? Do you actually like the taste of, quote, pumpkin,
I'm not.
or is it just the pumpkin spice that we like the taste of?
I'm not making a stir fry with like beef and huge chunks of pumpkin. No, I'm not doing that. I don't.
Have you ever tried it? Have you?
I
I mean, have
used
you
to
ever eaten?
I used to go to when I lived in the Bay Area. There's a restaurant called Burma Superstar, which does sort of like Burmese, Tibetan, kind of Himalayan fusion sort of thing.
Oh, wow.
And they
amazing.
would do a kind of curry stew that was made from a pumpkin and served in a hollowed out pumpkin.
Huh.
And a pumpkin tastes like a squash generally.
Hmm.
And with just the right amount of not pumpkin spice, but like Burmese spices. That was one of my favorite dishes. So I do like the taste of pumpkin as a vegetable.
When I carve the jack-o'-lanterns at the Halloween, one, I keep all the seeds and I roast them, so we have roasted pumpkin seeds. I love doing that. But as I'm doing it, if a little slice comes off, I gnaw on it like a little slice of apple, and it's not terrible. It's kind of flavorless, raw, kinda.
Pumpkin soup, Rebecca just mentioned, is really good. I don't know
Okay.
if I've had it. You mentioned squash. I mean, it is. You said it's like a squash. Of course, there's all different kinds of squash, and I love my squashes. The butternuts, the acorns, the spaghetti squashes I got right into in recent years. I just tucked away another couple of them over the last week or so. If they are tasting, if they have the texture and the flavor of some of the just regular squashes, I can't imagine that I wouldn't enjoy roasting one as I do a squash in the oven. As maybe I'll be doing that tomorrow, nipping down to Morse's and buying a very small pumpkin and actually eating it rather than hollowing it out, throwing all the bits away, and then putting a candle in it.
I'll
Just for a
tell
change.
you, we often put pumpkins on our porch in the fall, and I think last year we let them sit there until they sort of start to go south. And I think last year we had our first snow while there was still one or two pumpkins on
Yeah.
our porch. One
Yeah.
of them seems to have fallen off and made its way onto the ground, and we know this because there is now a pumpkin patch in front of our porch
Hey, that's
growing
awesome.
pumpkins. So if you would like a pumpkin, there are plenty of free, very fresh pumpkins attached to the vines in front of our porch.
Well, hey, that's
That's
pretty
so
cool.
cool.
I keep meaning to.
Growing your
I
own
want to
pumpkin.
grow some. I don't mean I want to, like, Howard Dill the giant pumpkin contest. Although that's a pipe dream. But I want to. I want to jack-o'-lantern my own pumpkins one year. I'm looking forward to that when I finally get off my ass and become a gardener. Ian,
Yes.
I have rimmed
Yes.
my Garrison.
You're all ready for it. Cool. I did finish this. I was trying to do a little bit of both there. I was trying to drink from the obviously when I started off, I was getting all of the
very
rimming stuff in the first couple of big gulps. And then after that, since I was trying to taste the beer more than the other stuff, then I was drinking from the clear part of it. And I would say it's lacking in a bit of sweetness myself immediately after the fake sweetness that I'd added to it. But I really like it with the stuff around the glass. What can I call it rather than calling it the rimming thing? Because I don't know, it just all sounds a bit weird. What do you call this normally? The stuff around the glass.
I think
The
it's
rim
I
job.
think it's the rim
rim
or
job.
the rimmer. I've even heard because you
The
go
rimmer.
like when you go to like Caesars and Caesar making competitions.
Yep.
A very fancy judge with a fancy mustache will say, by the way, Tom, où est la mustache?
It disappeared like a year ago, ish.
I haven't seen you since then. Okay. Anyway, so someone with a fancy Tom mustache will sit there, with their twisted, and they will be saying things like, "Oh yes, and what is your rimmer for this Caesar that you have brought?" And you're
I
winning,
see.
like the thousands of dollars competition to make the best Caesar possible, and rimmer is a category. So I
Perfect.
I
Then in
think.
that case, I'm going to continue to use it.
Yeah.
But each time, then I'm
Have
going to
at it.
have to remove. I'm going to have to remove the dregs off of the glass, which means licking the rim. So it's getting.
That's fancy.
Each time, I'm looking forward to that. This is delicious. This rimmer.
Yep.
You should. You
The
should,
beer
you should copy my
itself,
recipe.
meh. Yeah.
The beer. The beer is
Oh,
great.
that's disgusting.
The beer
Yeah, I
is
know.
great, but it's perfectly
What's the
fine. Not
background?
massively exciting
he had a
for a
great
pumpkin
fall.
Yeah,
spice.
Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. That's the background.
Where's it?
Makes total sense.
Where's James?
We haven't heard from James yet, but that's cool. That's fine. So Tom, unfortunately, this is I think my favorite, or my favorite of the 5 that I had last year. The Oh My Gourd Pumpkin Ale, mostly because at HalCon, which everyone else can attend, coming up later this month. Garrison does they are the beer sponsor. They are the beer tent. And this is pretty much this, and the PB&J was available last year, and it was excellent. So I was quite happy with that. But I've looked it up, and on the site for Oh My Gourd, 5.0 again, ABV from Garrison Brewing, it does say for basic witches. This intensely pumpkin-flavored ale will have you screaming OMG, made with real cinnamon, nutmeg, clove, along with pumpkin, of course. It tastes like another. I remember that description being terrible. So intensely pumpkin-flavored. Again, we got to go straight to the judgy hats on. If you're telling me that it's going to be intense, you better deliver.
Hair looks like a founding father.
Her hair looks like a founding father.
Is he dressed up?
Yeah,
as a scarecrow?
like I said, if I
like
can manage to at some point acquire one or more of these ones that I haven't found, I'm excited to try them. I just had but one chance at the Nasdaq this week, so this is what transpired.
Brittany, did you ask how I was dressed?
What did he say?
He's asking if you were curious
you
about how
asked I
Ian
was
is
being
dressed.
Yeah, are you a scarecrow?
Thank you so much.
Are you dressed up as? Oh,
Well. This is the thing. I thought, well, at seasonal times we tend to try a little bit. At least one of us does, and so, which meant this evening, about 5 minutes before you were due to call, I suddenly thought, oh yeah, I was going to try something. And we rummaged through Rebecca's wardrobe, and this is what we came up with for a scarecrow. So I'm wearing all her clothes. She said, "Well, that doesn't say much for her." She said that
you're wearing all of Rebecca's clothes? That's a costume.
and they're all, which to make me look like a scarecrow. She said, "Oh, thanks very much." So not only are you raiding my closet, but you think everything looks like a scarecrow. Anyway, however, I could also be. She said you could also look like you're about to hold up a stagecoach with it.
A little bit.
A little bit.
It is a bit of a mark of that. The smell off the Garrison is quite good. It actually smells like a toffee apple, and that makes me excited. The body of it is not quite as thick. It's much lighter. The head has gone away immediately. It's a little disappointing, despite the fact that I'm convinced that this one's going to taste better than the Propeller.
This one's sweeter.
Are you gonna have
This
the
one's
whole
sweeter.
thing?
I know it already.
Right. Well, the fruit flies will agree. There are plenty of flies all of a sudden that have just come out of nowhere. I've seen 4 or 5.
Well, they smelled
buzzing
your
around.
rimmer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look that up.
Absolutely.
Mm.
There we go. I'm
Oh
done.
my god.
Oh my god. Oh my god. They're not shy about advertising what this is all about, are they, on this can? This is not leaving anything to the imagination. Like the others are orange. They've got some orange elements. This one's just firing a bunch of pumpkins at you. This is a Halloween beer extraordinaire.
Are you all ready with your Garrison, or have you pulled it into the thing? The head is actually sticking around. It got low and then stayed there. Maybe it's enjoying the cinnamon off of the rim.
Oh.
Tom, have you had this one before?
I have not. The only pumpkin beer I've had local to here, I've had many pumpkin beers in life, but the only one I've had local to here was Patty's Pumpkin Ale ages ago. The sort of original recipe, I assume.
It does change it.
It was based on the Acadian Cream Ale, which became the Blueberry ale, which then
Oh,
became
yeah.
pumpkin ale in
Yep.
fall. So it was basically just an Acadian cream ale brewed with pumpkin. I quite liked it. I don't know if it is still made to this day.
We gotta get young Rob on the show to ask him if that's going to be a plan. Last time I talked to him, he was talking about his St. Paddy's Day beer coming out. So that was the last time I spoke with him.
Let's see, it's good.
Okay.
I have made a pumpkin beer. Pumpkin beer is the only beer I've ever made.
Oh, really?
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
How'd that go?
From scratch.
From scratch. Yeah, a very good friend who lives in the Bay Area, and he makes a lot of his own beers out of a shed in his backyard. And so I went over one year, and he was like, "We're gonna make a beer together. What kind of beer do you want to make?" And I was like, "Well, my favorite kind of beer, generally, pumpkin beer." So we got a bunch of pumpkins and cooked them up and sliced them up, put them in a bag, and put it in the mash and whatnot. So it turned out quite well, I thought.
How big a batch was that?
It's like 24 bottles.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
A mini nano micro batch just for yourselves.
But yeah, very small. It was not not mass produced in any size, shape, or form. But
Yep.
Well, here's your.
I also love a pumpkin spice ale, and I tell you what, this one is leaps and bounds above the pumpkins, above the Propeller one.
have you already had your Garrison?
Oh yeah. Oh no, I've not drunk it yet.
Okay.
I'm all halfway through it. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Okay, well, friggin' cheers then.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert, man. Oh, it's so much sweeter and full of flavor.
It's full bodied.
It's like a.
It's funny because
It's
it
real-
looked lighter than
Yeah.
bodied than the Propeller. Oh, maybe
It's
I'm wrong.
clearer.
A little bit.
Oh, even without all the stuff around the glass, this one is a sweeter affair altogether.
Mhm.
It's far more up the
Rich.
grave digger aisle for me. Far more towards
body
that.
flip.
When we had that iteration a couple of years ago, I thought it was the best pumpkin spiced ale I had ever tasted. And this ain't far off. This is pretty damn sweet.
I'll tell you, it's still not quite tasting like a pumpkin pie to me, but it's closer than the Propeller, and it's not leaning so heavily on the spice, not being all, hey, because the Propeller is that's just a nutmeg and clove ale to me.
Okay.
is there more pumpkin, or is it?
I think it's just less spice.
You think it's less spice?
It's less spice, but that just makes it has. Yeah, the Propeller is overspiced for the flavor that you get for it. Neither of them are very sweet. Giant brown sugar rimming aside.
Okay.
But
That's my problem then,
the
isn't it,
Oh My
each time?
Gourd is just. It's more of a pumpkin pie adjacent flavor, whereas the Propeller one is just, we ran out of pumpkin, here, have all the spices. And that's just
Then I've got
judgment.
to try just a tiny sip of Rebecca's again without any of the guff around it.
Go for it, but I like the beer better. I definitely like the beer better, but I still don't.
So do I.
I still don't quite think that's the pumpkin ale.
What do you think there, Rebecca?
A little bit of it at the back. The pumpkin pie flavor is just this tiny little aftertaste way at the back of this one.
Rich.
You think it's rich?
Yeah.
I agree.
You like the body on this? It's a slightly. Is it? You get the trouble with. I mean, I know they're going to be multi.
The trouble with tribbles is that they multiply and love Klingons. There, episode done. Who would like a quick trivia question?
Yeah.
Out of here.
Largest producing country of pumpkins. Country that produces the most pumpkins worldwide.
I'd guess two.
Well, you can't.
Canada or China.
All right.
The most pumpkins by mass or like individual pumpkins?
I don't know. It just says the largest producer, Major producing country. Largest.
Estonia.
China.
China is the largest producer.
Okay.
And United States, India, Russia, and Ukraine have significant production. However, where was the pumpkin? Was it the native species to? Just zonally. You can pick I'll give you a continent for this one.
Well, I think
Asia.
it's got to be the United States, or no, I mean North America, right?
I'll go for Asia.
Specifically Central America and Mexico, it says.
Yeah.
So that, because when you said that it was a thing, well, I mean, you've had it Burmese food, but also and when you said you got it over in Oakland, I'm like, do they have pumpkins in California? Is that a thing? Because when I think of these hearty vegetables that are like, they're built to withstand, a crazy blizzard's going to happen in October, and pumpkins are kind of, piss off, weather, we're going to survive no matter what. Where we get these kind of hearty things up here in what I call harvest country, I guess. We're, southern states, we made it orange, and they won't go anywhere else, but have one, and delicious.
Well, that might... Sorry, Tom, you were going to say something.
I was just going to say, like, I do recall that the tradition of carving gourds in the Halloween times is a relatively new one, new as in, like, people coming to the New World from the UK and Ireland. And originally, the things that folks carved in those areas were turnips.
Yeah.
Because, they didn't... Pumpkins were not native to the British Isles, and then when they came over to the New World and found
handy
pumpkins,
dandy,
they were
totally
like, hey,
hollow vegetable.
we can make even bigger hollow vegetables now. This is an innovation. So,
I had a follow-up question based on your Burmese food. Was because when you carve out a pumpkin, you cut off the top, and then there's all of the, what I like to call the goop. There's the stringy bit. Is that part of the flavor? Because I've only eaten the flesh. Like, once you scrape all of that out and you just get the chunky flesh, that's what I've eaten before. I've never had any of the stringy, the goopy guts of a pumpkin to eat.
The goop can be, like, blended up and used, and sometimes is. But it's not a major component of the stew. Because these pumpkins that they're making, they're much smaller, and so there's more flesh and less sort of connective goop.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Interesting.
I also like the seeds that you do. I've come to not throw away.
Aww.
I don't throw away any of the seeds from the squashes either. So I also roasted up my seeds, and they're available to me to this day in the cupboard, all covered in French fry seasoning. And they are quite delicious. Although Rebecca thought I was chewing on bubble gum earlier on today. She said, "Are you chewing gum?"
You're chewing.
I know, because I was chewing and chewing, and it's because seeds roasted. They still require they're not like sunflower seeds where they just crack and you just eat them, or even peanuts in. You just need to keep chewing. They're very woody. Squash seeds, are they not? You just keep chewing until they break down into a fibrous thing that mixes with your saliva, and then you swallow.
That's why you got to roast them. You got to roast the absolute pants off of them, and
I know,
then
these are burned.
Destroy that connective tissue.
There,
yeah.
it's three crunches down the hatch, easy peasy. 9 Locks. Tom, you got this one, the Harvest Pumpkin Ale.
I do have that one.
The Harvest Pumpkin Ale of 9 Locks is our 5.2% third, along there. And what is pumpkin ale bingo? Are we gonna say it's pumpkin pie in a glass? You get +1 for that one. But here we go.
Orange can,
yeah, +1. It's ticking all the boxes, I gotta say, for the Harvest Pumpkin Ale. The 9 Locks Harvest Pumpkin Ale. It is a dark amber ale. Oh, this is getting right into the specifics. With a full body and residual sweetness, the pumpkin and spices combine to give a unique flavor to the seasonal offering. A malty backbone provides mouthfulness, balancing, and crisp spicing. That is more descriptive than the other two. It's actually telling you a little bit more about what's going on without just saying, I don't know, we made it to be like a pumpkin latte. giver.
It does smell completely different than the Propeller.
Spicy.
There's a sweetness to the smell. It's got the sweetness and a little bit of the spice.
It's much more, way more cinnamon.
Yes.
Way more.
Than the nutmeg and clove, which was the strong spice flavor of the other two.
It reminds me of like the pre-made like can of pumpkin pie filling that you can buy at this, like if you're not making your own pumpkin pie from scratch, you know, you get like can with the gelatinous pumpkin stuff in it that's already pre-mixed. It smells like that.
I hesitate to admit, but more than once I have talked my wife out of buying that can of pumpkin product at the grocery store, because she says, "Can you just buy that and cook it, and you're just eating the innards of a pumpkin pie?" And I went, "Probably. You probably want to mix it with some cinnamon and some other stuff, because that's just the pumpkin bit, right?"
You could put
can't.
You could do like an ice cream creation with it, probably. That
Oh yeah. You're not getting a smell, Ian?
No, Tom was saying you've got more cinnamon from that, and now, of course, like I said, anything you can say, I can disqualify anything I say because I'm surrounded by these products that I've made myself. So, but
well, you're also wearing your train robbery bib, so maybe that's the filter that you should be worried about.
It was the crow sound.
She said, "Why is it?" She said, "You put this on." He said, "You started making a noise like a crow." It's not the crow. The scarecrow doesn't make the crow sound. She said. I thought I just found myself when I put this silly hat on. No, it's not silly hat. It's your hat. It's your hat. It's your wardrobe. I can't smell that. You said cinnamon, Tom. That's what you got.
Very much so. You're not.
There's something wrong with me. There's something. I'm broken this evening. I'm not working properly.
It's not the first time you admitted to this.
There's a cinnamoniness and a cerealness that reminds me of like a freshly opened box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch or something.
Now I want that.
Because that's the cinnamon mixed with the sugar. It's a cinnamon sugar, which is, oh yeah, that's tantalizing. Color is still right in there with the amber translucent. Yeah, you can, as you can tell by Tom's green dragon flagon. Is that a green dragon flagon? Did I get that right?
You did.
Nice, man. Where did flagon come from the recesses of my brain? I have no idea. This smells amazing. Who's up for the Ian? How's your 9 locks pouring there, sir?
I'm just pouring it now. I've just rimmed my glass for the 3rd time. I'm enjoying this rimming experience.
Triple rimmer.
People usually do.
Yeah, this is what do they say? This is dark amber. Does it look any different from the other two, gentlemen? Do you?
No, looks exactly the same. I think this one, the can and my hands are sticky. It just goes into more detail. It tells you more about the body and the background, where the other two are just pie, whatever, pie and spice.
Okay, I'm gonna get into this.
Yep, getting in there. 9 locks. Cheers.
Cheers.
You just can't eat.
That's getting there.
Smooth.
That's much better.
Smoother.
I would say
the mouthfeel is very creamy.
Yeah, this is much closer to what I would recall from the Acadia or from the Patty's like pumpkin cream ale. It's like a cream ale with pumpkin in it.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's hard to describe, but I do have a perfect pumpkin ale in my head, and I feel it's the same one that Tom probably tried. And all of these other ones, when they try to do it, I'm like, nah, it needs a little bit more sweetness to it. You gotta get in there. This is close.
I have a perfect pumpkin ale in my hand.
Oh, Rebecca's given this a full thumbs up. She just said, "I have the perfect pumpkin spice in my hand."
Wow.
She's digging it.
This one's quite good.
I'm a 9 locks lady.
You are, aren't you? You're big on 9 locks.
Yeah.
9 locks don't do much wrong.
They do not deviate.
They've got an extensive range, and there's not too many that I've had. I'm like, that's a bit disappointing. 9 locks tend to nail it. I mean, they are the go-to.
They are large
the
producers.
Blonde Ale.
They really, they
Oh.
became part of, because it used to be just Propeller and Garrison country, but Nine Locks came
Right.
in and they just said, hey, you know
They're
what,
massive
Powie.
now, aren't they?
They're part of the big
I mean,
three.
they've got my favourite blonde ale that I think I've tried. Their Frig Off is pretty much
I-
my go-to for their.
I need to go
Their
back and
IPA.
try that again. Now that we're
Oh.
IPA lovers, we've discussed this several
Yeah.
times.
Oh, it's so good.
This pumpkin ale, this is the pumpkin ale. It's still a little, maybe a little heavy on the spice. If I have any notes to say on this one, it's maybe just a little too much spice for the sweet.
Tips on the can include: please drink responsibly. Brewed and canned by Nine Locks Brewing Company in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. Never moon a werewolf.
Oh,
Because
that raises more questions than answers.
Never
I
moon-
don't think a metaphorical full moon would turn someone of lichen infection to a full werewolf. I think it has to be the actual reflective light from the Earth's moon.
It's deep, isn't it?
I don't know much
Very
about
deep.
magic, but I'm pretty sure seeing somebody's bare buttocks is not the same kind of magic as lunar whatnot.
I guess it, yeah, I don't. If it were in broad daylight and the reflected light from the sun functioned like the reflected light from the moon off of someone's buttocks.
You'd have to have pretty pale and reflective buttocks. So
Have you met me?
getting mooned by either Tom or let's say Rose McGowan, and then yes, you would turn into a werewolf. Were you already infected by the lichens themselves? One of my favorite facts that I happen to know is why. Well, the original name of the moon does actually have a name. It's not called the moon. It's Luna, which is where the word lunatic came from, because it was believed that if you went out, even I think it's in medieval times, if you were out in the moonlight, if moonlight hit you, you would basically catch crazy and you would turn into a lunatic. So you were not to go out at night. This was back when we were burning witches at the stake. So there was a lot of superstition and whatnot.
1950s.
Yeah, around
Burning
then, maybe the 70s. I can't remember.
I wonder if this is a little bit of correlation causation, where typically the people who were perhaps a little bit more unconventionally minded were already out in the moonlight doing things,
Yep.
and so people
Having
kind of
orgies
thought
in the
that
woods
must
and whatnot.
That must be what it is. The moonlight must be causing this.
Is that an actual fact, Ross, or was it something you found on Facebook?
Everything you find on Facebook is an actual fact. No, I found
that's what I'm
that
getting at.
somewhere else, but I did look that up, and yeah, well, it's where lunacy, the concept of being
Yeah.
a lunatic and lunacy originated from lunar, because we talk about a lunar eclipse and Luna itself. So the name for I can't remember if it's like French, Latin,
It's
what not, but why is Luna for the moon?
I like it. There used to be a TV show in the UK in the 70s and 80s called Call My Bluff, and whereby the presenter of the show would ask three panelists. He would say, "Here is a word," and they would pick some weird word out from the dictionary, and then which no one had ever heard of before. I would imagine, like, I don't know, scabaffle. And then it's from the proper Oxford English dictionary with a million different words in it, and then each of them would read out a definition for this word. It's like Balderdash. I beg your pardon. It used to be a TV show, and of course one of them was telling the correct, and then the other team would have to guess which one it was. Now lunatic. If you'd have said to me how the word, if you were one of the panelists on that team and you'd have said, this is the correct definition of lunatic or lunacy, I would totally have believed you. At the same time, I'd be like, it sounds too close to Luna and the moon. It sounds too obvious for it to be the correct definition for it.
I did look it up, and it's correct.
You are a
Luna
great
being the
actor, though.
original Latin name for the moon. That's what I looked up. So the Roman
Yeah.
civilization named the moon as Luna because Luna is the female compatriot to the sun being a male. So there was Sol and Luna.
Wow.
But
You learn so much drinking beer.
I
Don't you?
I
I
was
always
about
find
to
that every week.
explain to Tom that honestly I don't think I do as much research in my life or have done ever in my life as I do on this friggin' show. As we're
right.
just like, hey, I wonder what that means, and the conversation just goes, and we eventually just look stuff up, and we're like, yeah, that's really interesting.
Tell Vic's mom. I think that's interesting.
And then we eventually forget it by next week because we're full of beer.
Absolutely.
I have rimmed my Breton glass.
Oh my God, have you finished that already?
No, I haven't. This is the point. It's all about only drinking half of these so you can feed the other half to your wife.
Oh, she's drinking one.
See,
She's
exactly.
drinking one, right.
You've got Rebecca there, and well, Tom's only got 2 beers, so he's fine. He'll go and have an old fashioned in a minute, probably. Tom? Have you finished your? I mean, that 9 locks that was delicious.
It's very good. I'm going to. I've made my way probably 2/3 of the way through the Propeller and 1/3 of the way through the Harvest Pumpkin. So I will just be nursing these for the rest of the
And I
evening.
feel like we can get about halfway through each of these, and we should be pretty set. So Breton Brewing. I love the can. Look at this can. This can is phenomenal. Look at the stripes, so the shades of the black going down there. So it is very pumpkin-like. So for a spiced up pumpkin ale, but the can itself is designed very much like a pumpkin. And there's the lunar. You're getting mooned on the back. That definitely looks like buttocks right there.
Mm-hmm.
The orange buttocks of one. Well, I won't tell you who I think has orange buttocks, but I doubt he can reach around to get the bronzer in that area. But who might have questioned?
No one watches.
Yeah, that's right.
No one watches.
Mario Lopez, you are correct. That's the guy I'm talking about right there with the orange bronzer on his buttocks. My spiced up got angry as soon as I opened it. It did not explode fully, but there's some head going on there.
Gentlemen, I know you're at various different parts of Nova Scotia, but right now there is one hell of a lot of rain pounding down on this roof. It is a mighty big storm.
Well, we hear it a little louder.
We hear it louder because we have metal roof. But my God, it's such a wonderful sound to hear rain hammering down outside.
I ran through it to get
Yours.
here, so no, I was complaining a bit about
Okay.
it. I'm 3 levels, I'm 3 surfaces
you are.
away
You're
from. I'm down here in the basement, so I can't hear it.
Yeah, no.
But I did hear that we are meant to get some thunder as well tonight. A bit.
Yeah, I heard a couple of rumbles earlier on, about an hour or so before we came on. Yep.
Here's the thing: Tom is a whole hour away on the South Shore, so
Yeah.
his weather is completely different than ours.
Yeah, it's as far as I can tell, not doing anything outside.
It's
I'll
either
open the window
snowing
here.
or sunny, probably.
Or neither. Since
Or
it's
both.
Or night.
9:05. It's nighttime.
Sun blizzard.
It's an hour
If it
away.
is-
It's an hour away, like by car, not by supersonic jet. It's not still daylight.
No, well, it's still okay. Yeah, I mean, it's there for the Perseids or whatever.
If it is raining in any way, it is imperceptibly.
Mm. What's your smell? What's your smell off the can
I
there?
beg your pardon. What's my
What's your smell off the can?
That's my. It's a rather personal question. So I wasn't getting much off of the can at all. If anything. Oh dear. You know how? Well, no, Tom was saying the other one smelled like Cinnamon Toast Crunch. This smells like Sugar Crisp. You know, with the bear, the puff. What is that? Puffed wheat? Is it with? Can't get enough of that Sugar Crisp. The pot smoking bear. Remember that guy?
I never had that. I've had Sugar Smacks, which is a frog, which I think is kind of the same
Oh,
thing.
it might be the same thing. That's what it smells like. Very, oh yes, very grainy, very barley, very biscuity, cereal forward. We haven't had a good Breton in a while. We occasionally get into the crazy Angus and the black Angus for a good time. What are you two laughing at over there? Stop giggling. Stop giggling. This is a serious beer drinking show.
No fun on this show.
This is in my North glass. I've ballsed up the pouring of it big time. It's a big frothy, heady thing. But it's a shame because if the froth had gone up another couple of centimeters, an inch, then it would have met the brown rim coming down, and it would have been quite a sight. Would it not?
That's what I keep doing, and then the head actually mixes with the rim, and then it gets all cross contaminated. It's delicious.
It looks great. Yeah.
So Tom,
it does.
Again, Tom, here is my life hacks for you. Is you hang out with people like Ian here and our good friend John, just so you can learn the interesting and fun way that people talk and start saying the words like, "Oh, I've ballsed that up completely." I hadn't thought to say that.
I guarantee you there are Rossisms that I've been saying for the last 20 years that no one feels brave enough to call me out on. It's not a Rossism, it's a Johnism, but someone the other day, I was in Vancouver at a meeting and I was like, let's spruce on down to somewhere. And they were like, what? It's like, when you hoss slowly.
I have definitely within the last month said to someone, looks like someone's got a case of the Eustacoons. So I do a lot.
That's a Seanism.
I do a lot of those. Oh yeah, we all talk like each other. I get messages from Sean every now and then, and he says, "I just said this to somebody, and it reminds me of how funny we were 20 years ago." yeah, that was us. Oh well, okay. I think I'm just smelling the rim on this glass, honestly, for the Breton spiced up. Ian, are you into that already?
I have not started because you visually scolded me for the second fight where I was halfway down it before you.
Yes, but I'll forget about that in minutes. All right, so cheers on the Breton spiced up. Have at her.
Cheers. Mm-hmm. There's pumpkin in that.
This beer is brewed with loads of pumpkin and perfectly spiced to give a hint of delicious pumpkin pie. A hint?
There's pumpkin in that. I'm getting some in that one. It's not all spice. It is spiced, and I'm liking it a lot. I'm liking them all because I'm in this ridiculously delicious thing that, by the way, once I finish this evening, I'm pretty much going to throw all that on a big bowl of Cheerios and eat it all before I go to bed. This is more pumpkin-y. It's more pumpkin-y. If that makes sense.
Is it more pumpkin-y than the harvest pumpkin?
Well, it does say, so spiced up pumpkin ale. There.
Rebecca, are you getting more pumpkin?
Yeah, it falls flat for me.
Oh, we've got a difference of opinion.
Yeah.
In the carrot shop.
I have to get around my rim job. Hang on. It's all of the rim of the sugar is still there.
Me too, because of course everything I drink tastes of the thing.
I'm not getting a lot of flavor from that.
I'm not getting a lot of flavor from that either. I'm getting a body, and I'm getting a maybe a malty. There's like a, what is going on in that? Because that one, years ago, when we had the spiced up, it tasted like the Propeller. It was just blah, spice, and it was too much. So they have backed off. I feel way too much. It could be argued that it's balanced now, but
maybe that's the reason why it's more pumpkin-y to me rather than the spices or the sweetness.
Yep, they have backed off on the spice.
Oh, pumpkin, no spice.
But you're the spiced up.
You're wanting the pumpkin spice, but I've given it the rim that it deserves. So maybe it's got more of the pumpkin. It's got more of the pumpkin taste, and I'm giving it the rim job.
I can't decide if The Rim That It Deserves is an album title or a band name. I think that's an album title. The Rim That It Deserves.
It's too definitive and too long for a band name.
The third seminal album from Thump Crunch.
I'm giving it the rimming of its life to give it the flavouring that it needs. Because the pumpkin is up front in this one, and there's less of the sweetness and more of the vegetable. To me.
Taste the vegetable.
You're not tasting the vegetable?
Or the spice.
You're not tasting anything.
It's lacking.
It's harvest season. Okay. Why aren't we drinking a radish ale? Why aren't we having, a good
it doesn't
a good turnip lager? Come on.
I'm excited to try my hand at making some mead. I feel like mead done correctly can be a lovely harvest drink.
Agreed. And I will tell you, several of the meaderies, well, the meadery nearest me, Urson Meadery, which was around since Mo's been here, I think they've closed shop indefinitely, and the pandemic killed them. But I will recommend, because I keep meaning to recommend to Daryl, because I know he's kind of interested in mead. Sean got really into mead. Sean makes mead and refuses to share it with everybody else, which is a very Sean maneuver to do. But I want to send a Daryl, and now you, if you want to talk about mead, go down to Tanner and Company down in Chester Basin.
Mm-hmm.
And because he makes a lot of really delicious beers, and they're outstanding. But he also makes the occasional mead and sometimes some flavored mead. So he does a little bit of the both. He makes beer in a German style.
They're all German.
Is his go-to, and then
just
drops a bunch of meads on you. So there's some very tasty stuff down there.
Do we still have that mead in the fridge from Meander River? Is that ringing any bells, or am I imagining?
No. Did you get yourself some mead from Meander River?
No. May be then.
Did they sell, or are they closing? Something's going on with Meander River, and I can't remember what.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Oh.
Maybe they did a mead, and I didn't, because I don't know. It was brought back three or four. But I can't remember. Maybe they did a mead, and I didn't get it, or there is a mead that I brought home. You'd know, because it's probably in your database.
I would name my band Didamead. I like that. Didamead with the seminal album You Can't Rim What You Used To. Now, it's been 30 seconds, but I can't remember what the awesome album name was.
Rimming We Deserve.
The Rimming We Deserve from Didamead. It's kind of boring. The Breton spiced up is kind of boring.
Even with the rimmed glass that you have, you still find it boring.
To me, it tastes like a disappointing homebrew.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
I'm
there. My rimmed glass is the only thing working, but I'm managing to separate in my gray matter that the rim job is quite tasty, but the beer that's coming through it is kind of it's a little meh. Kind of meh.
Got to separate the art from the rim job.
That's their follow-up album right there. And then someone sitting at home says, "Why are all their albums about rib jobs? What's going on with these guys? Why are we from New York?"
I've just taken a swig, a tiny sip from Rebecca's glass, which has none of the guff going on, and I'm still getting the pumpkin rather than the spiced ale, which is great because they're not. Because then, I mean, they can't all be massive sweet things. I'm getting more of the root vegetable rather than the sweetness associated with pumpkin spice.
Not a lot of root vegetable.
I do.
No root vegetable.
You're not getting any.
No.
I'm so glad she's drinking from the same can as you, because when we argue about this, I just assume that you got some magic can that's full of some flavor that no one else has ever come across. Yay.
I don't know. I obviously don't have access to this. I'm still enjoying
No.
the Harvest
Well,
Pumpkin, but
yeah.
it is very
Honestly,
good.
yeah.
So.
Nurse that 9 locks one for as long as possible because I don't remember the Schoolhouse one being incredibly awesome either. But I'm happy to be proven wrong. Let's just get all the maple syrup off my cool glass here. Again,
I'm just going to town on the rest of this glass. I left so much.
lick
I'm
that
drunk.
rim.
I absolutely, and I've got bits of chunky clove going on in here as well. If you can see that, I've been picking that out all evening.
Clove in your nose.
See, this is
Clove
why
in
you
my
got to be
nose.
here for the live video version to watch us actually,
Oh.
you know, selectively lick the glass.
Yeah, it's
It's
so
all
good.
God. This is borderline pornographic at this point. We need an OnlyFans site pretty soon for what we do to these glasses.
I love it. I don't know what you're talking about, Ross. But will you please go into some depth about the eggs that are doing some work behind you? Because I've been wondering about that all evening. Who are these people?
So this is an image. It's a popular image, and we use a lot of backgrounds. And this is my go-to for work. So during the fall season, I like to use this one, and this is just so. This one is just an image called Humpty Dumpty had a great fall.
Oh, yes.
He's out in the
Very
leaves,
clever.
carving a jack-o'-lantern. He's down there. I don't know. He's like reading a book by a fire or something. He's picking some apples. He's he had a great fall.
That's cute.
That's cute, isn't it? And it's
Yeah.
a picture. You can't see it, Rebecca. Rebecca's doing some
I can imagine.
Yeah, she's doing some crafty kind of things here. She's been making Christmas ornaments for the best part of 6 months now.
Multitasking on beer night? Unheard of, sir.
And she's threading needles through bits of felt in the background whilst quaffing on pumpkin ales. And bless her, she just poured the rest of her glass into mine.
You just poured the rest.
Well, I did, but you gave me it. You beckoned toward me as if to say, "I've had enough of that. Here, you have it."
By me, you mean you.
By me, I mean me.
That sly come hither stare. So, Schoolhouse Brewery. Sorry, I've got the wrong side of the thing. This is my my new glass that I emotionally thefted from location at Schoolhouse Brewery in Windsor, Nova Scotia. And the Pumpkin Paddler is their contribution to the pumpkin ales, and it is a 5.5. Wait, no, I'm wrong. Breton was a 5.5. This is a 6.0. 6.0 Pumpkin Paddler from Schoolhouse. Tom, I've got extras. Well, I'll get them to you. And on the can, Windsor knows big pumpkins, and our Pumpkin Paddler is big on pumpkin taste. Loaded with pie spice flavors like fresh ginger. Allspice.
Yeah,
they're going, and whole cinnamon. And everyone else was going with half-ass cinnamon. This delicious pumpkin spiced ale is the ideal beer to pair with fall adventures or a local harvest meal. Orange on the can, so they're checking that box of obnoxiousness. I didn't think this was too impressive last year.
you opened it last year.
No, I had this last year. They release it every year, and I feel like there might be someone tightens up a recipe. They got to change it up a little bit, and I guess we got to go to Tom's neighbor to find out if he tried it and enjoyed it. Or did you say Aaron might have?
I had some for sure.
Yeah, I brought you a couple because I know you said, "Hey, I'd love a good pumpkin ale," so I'm trying to find the good one. And
I
feel like we
remember
kinda
it
found
being like again. This was a year ago, and I had it kind of in isolation, so I remember it being like, oh yeah, that's reasonable, but I don't remember it blowing my socks off necessarily.
No, honestly the closest one so far. I thought Oh My Gourd was my favorite, but the 9 Locks one does remind me of that, and I gotta say the perfect pumpkin beer from Paddy's. All those many, many years ago.
And
yes.
I can't even comment. I don't think I ever tried the perfect pumpkin beer from Paddy's all those years ago. It might be before you and I were acquainted. Ross, would that be fair to
It
say?
was just before. It might have been the year before.
Just before.
Yeah.
Okay.
I count our time as becoming acquainted as when I took a picture of you dressed in your bowler hat and the rainbow umbrella in the parking lot of the Wolfville Baptist Church just before a ghost walk. That was back in the day when we were both on the Wolfville Ghost Walk. So that's going a ways back.
Okay. So that's I'm trying to work this out. Just BR, I would call that then, before Ross.
Yeah,
the time before.
Beatrice Arthur. Yeah, BR. That's the one.
Right. Cool.
I don't think I ever met you, Ian, when I had my first stint as a resident of Nova Scotia, which was 2005 to 2009.
Oh, absolutely not. I wouldn't imagine so. Tom, I would imagine you were at. I was about to say that very same thing.
Tom was that tall, slender man at my wedding. Yes, that's how you know.
Yeah. Tom, were you at Ross's bachelor party around at his place all those years ago? Brittany and Ross. Was it 5 years ago? Was it 4 years ago, Ross? Is it 5 or 4? September the whatever it is.
I had a
11th?
bachelor party?
I was absolutely at Ross's wedding back in 2021.
Oh, well then Rebecca and I would have seen you in 2021. In September of 2021. Absolutely.
I'm sorry. I need to focus on this. I had a bachelor party?
Well, you had about a dozen gentlemen sitting in your living room playing video games. If that qualifies. That's a bachelor party, isn't it?
That's my bachelor. Yeah, it sounds like my bachelor party. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like
man, I totally
this was the timing of it was a bit dicey because it was still relatively soon. It was still in some ways in the throes of COVID, so I kind of like came up, was there for the weekend, and then had to kind of bolt.
We were week to week wondering if we could even have a wedding.
The wedding.
Yeah.
Because I think that was back when, oh god, that was one of the previous premieres, and they were doing a thing where they were setting it out in a phase 1 through 5 of now you're allowed to go and rub elbows with your close family. Bubbles, yes, bubbles. And phases, and I think where they released phase 5. Phase 5 was 100 people can rub elbows, and we're like, that's exactly when we planned our wedding reception. So, woo, let's go. And we got all these fantastic pictures of the dance floor and Brittany's grandmother and my mother dancing with my daughter is one of my favorite pictures that I've got on the dance floor. I was happy to have it.
Tom, did you? Rebecca and I turned up within 20 minutes.
You were busy. You had a big day because you had to take off as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I know, but there was a massive downpour on your wedding day, and then we got there and we went and sat on this chair in your yard where everyone else was, and immediately found ourselves embedded into your lawn up to.
Yeah, all of the chairs were so subsumed by the landscape.
My friend Sean says it the best. He every now and then, just like if there's a lull in the conversation, he'll say, "You remember at Ross's wedding when everyone sank into the earth?" Yeah. Yes, I do.
I'd love to have been the first person to have done that, and then sat at the back and watched every single newcomer come and sit on a chair and just disappear into the bowels of your yard.
I mean, I don't know that I'm a person who sits confidently, but if I'm in an outdoor venue and I go to sit on a chair, do you just trust it with 100% of your mass and gravity? And you're just like, yes, this will hold me up. And you give it the full whoomph. And you it felt like there were people who were fully just leaning into this concept of this chair will support my weight now. I have had experience where a picnic bench will break in half if you sit on it too aggressively, but these people were given it the full aggressive treatment. There are several
Oh, it
people,
was
and
hilarious.
they were sunk a good 2-3 feet in the ground of a chair leg, just disappeared. These poor plastic chairs that were just, I'm here barely supported on the lawn. What do you want me to do? And they just suckled themselves straight into the earth.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
Anyway, it was a good day.
It was a lovely wedding. I had a great time. And the Ross's wedding was the first time I ever met Grant.
This is the first time many people met Grant. He is not a met person.
No, I see his photos on Facebook, and I hear Crowbar talk about him all the time. But I thought I maybe thought he was like an imaginary friend or something.
James and I both mock him for this and try desperately to pull him away from this closeted experience. But we give him a hard time for it. But we do try to get him out of his shell. He's a difficult cat to get out there. This pumpkin ale from Schoolhouse, this is dark. Are you getting this? Mine's very tanned in color. Have you even cracked it? What's going on?
You're like giving it a huff.
I'm huffing it. Yeah.
It's smelling like the sweet pie. It's got the sweet pie smell. Oh.
I'm just chewing on some woody squash seeds again.
As you do.
Squash seeds, adding to the whole experience.
Bad.
I'm doing it big time. Oh, what am I doing? This is not the same glass as we've been using. Yeah? Okay. This is a darker affair.
It is
entirely.
darker. It's much darker. I agree. It's much darker.
Absolutely. I love the look of it.
It is.
It's like a very malty-looking English style bitter.
Well,
like
I told you what was in there. Pie spice flavors. This is the one that says ginger and allspice is the only big difference here. If you're
okay.
Which did you say said amber?
Oh, was that the Nine Locks?
No, I think it
That's
was.
it. It's a dark amber ale, the Nine Locks Harvest Pumpkin Ale. This looks the full 9 yards. If that was the 9 locks, this is the 9 yards. This is a dark ESB looking.
This
thing.
is the darkest one yet. I'm
by
getting
a mile. All the rest look kind of similar. Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of the rimmed glass. I'm trying to get rid of that.
Is
Okay.
it sort of? Does it taste as malty as it looks?
Oh, I'm going to find out. Unfortunately, I'm not going to find out until I get past all this sweet shite that I put around the glass. And that's what I'm now going to call it. The sweet shite.
What the heck is with all of this tasty bullshit that I put in my
I know.
glass?
No, that's one of the downsides to doing this, of course, that obviously the first few gulps of it, they all do taste kind of similar because what am I doing? I'm tasting the rim and it's not fair. So their individual flavors I've kind of ruined, which is why I've kind of been going over there and taking a couple of sips of Rebecca's glass, which haven't been tainted, and then I can get an idea for it. But the whole, if you're going to, we've been through this a dozen times, Ross. It is great to do this thing that we're doing at the moment, but at the same time, they do all taste that kind of similar. We're not giving the beer the justice they deserve.
Well, because normally, and in previous years, the spice has been outrageous. So honestly, the Propeller is the only one that I remember being. It was so spicy that the rimmed glass balanced things in an acceptable way. But the other ones, they actually fly pretty okay on their own. However, I will say, when you go to Schoolhouse, and you ask for a pumpkin ale, they have the rimmed glass treatment ready there for you in the pub. And I was talking to the servers just the other week, and they said, I think this might have been one of the first years they've done it. They haven't always done it, but now it seems like everywhere you go, you kind of expect this now. And I'm like, good, rim the glass, give it the business.
As a connoisseur of cocktail, I don't drink very much beer. I make a lot of cocktails, and as a connoisseur of cocktails, like the garnish is 50% of the game.
Well, then I'm glad you're here for bullshit garnish night on beer. You know, because
Yeah.
It
Tom,
feels important.
When I went to that recipe and looked up the best recipes for rimming a glass for a pumpkin spiced ale, this one I found, which has seemed to be pretty standard. And I thought I'll go with that one. One of the
What-
sides down the bottom was you can put this thing away afterwards, they say, and you could also rim it to rim your favorite cocktails, your ciders, your meads, etc. So it seems to be a catch-all to make it a spicy, a cinnamon, clove, and blah 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 blah. So
I
it
can't
looks
believe you
like they're trying to
chopped
say,
cloves for this.
I did. No, but I guess you could make a Caesar out of whatever the hell you like, as long as you rim the glass and,
Yep.
and give it something individual yourself. And they said, put this away for your mulled ciders, your mulled wines, your whatever cocktail you want to throw in. So, yeah, they're kind of saying, whatever you make, you can rim the glass with and give it a distinctive flavor that you design yourself.
Absolutely.
guess,
I mean,
yeah.
there are a number of really delightful cocktails you can make with a basis of apple cider that you can just buy at the
Apple
grocery
cider.
store. And so you do some
Yeah.
apple cider, some mezcal, maybe a little dash of bitters, and then rim it with, pumpkin spice
Isn't
adjacent things.
isn't mezcal like
Yeah.
tequila?
It is.
It's tequila that has been
Propeller.
the agave plant has been baked. Essentially, it's toasted tequila.
What?
It's smoked
Isn't it-
tequila.
Isn't it basically like a higher grade of? I mean, the traditionalists and the people that really know their tequilas and mezcals would say mezcal is a superior, smokier version of a tequila.
I don't know that it's necessarily superior. I think it just definitely has a smokiness to it that that regular sort of blanco tequila doesn't usually have.
Ross, mutual friends of ours, Francois, that goes down to Mexico, of course, quite a lot, and it goes down into Oaxaca. I never know how to pronounce that, but it's got Q's and O's and X's and whatever it is. The province in Mexico that I can't pronounce. He goes there once every 2 or 3 years, and he brings back half a dozen individually chosen mezcals each time. And I've had several round at his house, and I'm like, wow, these are. And he said, these are, Ian, they're really, really good. They are, and they taste like when we would throw tequila, just a regular tequila, into a margarita, which I've become quite a fan of recently, I have to say, and they mix well. But mezcal, it's almost like when you have a single malt whiskey that you don't mess with, you just want it by itself rather than a blended whiskey that you can mix with other things. That seems to be the way of the mezcal, that don't mess with it, because this is some good stuff.
Very much so. If you have any requests, it so happens I will be in Oaxaca next week. So if you would like something,
I am
particular.
very intrigued about this smoked tequila thing, and apparently there's a Banez Ensemble mezcal.
Ooh, that's very good. Yes,
Okay,
that's
okay.
very good, and you can get it here. Believe it or not.
I mean, I've only
Right.
graduated to a good friend of mine, Jamie, who I'm trying to get on the show for the longest time. He introduced me to. Oh my goodness gracious! What is the name of Hornitos? Hornitos is the only tequila that I buy because he says, "Oh, if we're drinking, we got to get some Hornitos," and we used to always get that and just drink Hornitos, pretty much just straight.
Yeah.
And that was when I learned, and honestly, he got me into this about maybe 7 or 8 years ago, if not more so. God, I'm old. And only in the last year, I've had Hornitos up in the booze cabinet for several years, and finally, my wife says, "Oh well, what have you got?" And I said, "I've got some tequila up there." She says, "No, I hate tequila." And I said, "Yeah, but my good friend Jamie got me into this stuff, and I like it." Fine. So I poured her some tequila, and she said, "Oh,
Yeah.
oh."
Mm. Yeah.
Oh, and it's like showing someone that tequila doesn't need to be uncomfortably awful. And
Yeah.
Well, I've come very late to the party as well because tequila was not something that I would ever have touched. If I had, it kind of hurt a little bit, and it's only in my later life where I'm like, actually, this stuff when it's mixed
Mm.
well, it can be just so
But
delicious.
there are the tequilas that you also don't mix.
Okay,
Like
you're saying that the
mezcal,
better ones, the better tequilas,
just sipping straight.
just
The
sipping straight as
Yeah.
well.
the
Yeah.
quality
Yeah, that makes
gamut is
sense.
Yeah.
quite
Yeah.
wide. So
Yeah.
there's the sort of gasoline, oily, not very good tequilas, and
That's
there's the
the
really
one.
excellent, beautiful tequilas, and all sorts of things in between. So it's not like I would say a vodka is a vodka for the most part. Perhaps
Yeah.
perhaps it's an uneducated take, but most vodka, the gamut from between shit vodka and really good vodka is not very wide.
Yeah.
Whereas tequila, it is quite wide, and so
Mm.
like a really good mezcal is, you can make an old fashioned with that and really savor the flavor of the mezcal. I wouldn't mix it with a bunch of other things, but if you have like a mid-grade tequila or whatever, go nuts, make yourself a margarita.
As we find ourselves doing actually during the summer, I'd never had one until 2 years ago. When I drove into when Rebecca picked me up from the States, and then took me to an old haunting hold of hers in St Andrews. She went to an old friend of hers, and for the first night in my life, that night I had a margarita because her friend made it. And I was like, nah, I don't know if I'm really into cocktails. Margarita, what's in this? Tequila? Not sure I'm going to like this.
Squeezed lime.
Oh, just so many fresh limes, and this margarita. I was like, immediately, I was like, where's this been in my 50-something years on the planet? This is amazingly good. And what did I do?
I hate to tell you this. I hate to tell you this. I feel like this may come as a shock to you.
Mhm.
You're British.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Eh.
Yeah. That.
My sister drink tequila.
Oh, you did. Yes, right. 3 years ago in Northern Ireland, in Belfast. That's right. Tina, my sister, said, what should we have for a drink then? And Rebecca said, let's just slam some tequilas back with us. She was just making a joke. And because Tina, my sister, had never really imbibed either of that stuff, but it hits you hard, and it's so freaking delicious.
Yeah, but it's not like it's just a different hit.
A different, yes.
Really
Tom?
different.
And I became a fan overnight.
Tom, I'm happy to say I just took a decent slurp from all five again, and I'm pretty confident that Nine Locks wins. I think they win this year. They win this year.
They're very. I took another swig out of my can of Propeller, and it is a perfectly drinkable beer, but it does not hold a candle in my estimation to the Harvest Pumpkin, which I think is very good.
No, that is the winner this year. What?
You could take that candle and you could put it in your pumpkin for a
That's right.
perfect jack-o'-lantern. That you're not. Never mind. There was. I knew.
Shove that in your pumpkin and smoke it. Where are you going with this?
I hadn't quite finished the pumpkin paddler. It's the strongest of the six, of the five. It's so strong, it even tastes like two of them. Do you think it tastes stronger, Ross?
Oh, you mean like that boozy flavor? No, not so much. I don't think so. It doesn't have that kind of a hey, I'm kind of strong kind of flavor. It's pretty benign.
It mentioned ginger. It mentioned ginger and allspice, I believe. Is that the one?
Ginger and allspice. Yes, it did.
Are you getting any differences in the flavor profile than the other ones? Something that says I've got ginger in me, whereas the others don't.
Short answer, no. Long answer, no.
Is it because every single drink you've had as well has been rimmed with the same rim job that you provided?
But I have tactfully worked my way around each rim job using my face, and I feel like
Okay.
drinking the straight craft beer that we are here for. The rim has added to and enhanced
Right.
every single one of these. But
It has.
and even then, drinking all 5 with the rim, I think the 9 lock still is the leader, but the leader with no rim, you're getting around the rim and just having it as a bare bones drink. I still feel 9 locks is there, honestly. And at this point, trying to decide between the other 4, the Breton and the Schoolhouse just taste a little like the Schoolhouse continued to taste a little bit boring to me.
Oh, interesting. Okay. And that's the strongest, and that's the one that presented itself as being something a little bit different from the others, which is.
I love how each one says, "We've got an
I like
explosion of pumpkin pie," and I said, "No, you really kind of don't."
I find the pumpkin paddler to be the maltiest of the 5, actually, and which is maybe. I mean, it presents itself differently as well. It's a darker looking beer than the rest of them are. It's smooth. I find some taste a little thinner than others. If I were to pick out my 2 favourites, even though I give Propeller's beer props every time. I hope you got that joke. No, pretty much every time. I think
prop
Propeller,
shaft. Okay, fine, I get it. Yes.
Okay, thank you. I think Propeller. I mean, they've been doing this so long. They can do it. They know what they're doing, but it's certainly not the tastiest of the 5.
No.
I think if it was, I think the Schoolhouse Brewery to me that I'm drinking at the moment. You've dropped something that's really important over there, Rebecca.
I don't remember.
Oh no. She's dropped a bunch of her crafting things in the background. Maybe pumpkin spices brews had something to do with it. She's lost her motor neuron, whatever they're called, attributes. They're called beads. I think actually it's a straight race between the 9 locks and the current one I'm drinking, which is the pumpkin paddler, which isn't doing it for you. And this is a maltier thing. It's really delicious.
It's not doing it as much as the 9 locks. It is. I think you're right. Second place. It is second place.
I love it.
It's a slightly different second. Breton third.
Yep.
Breton last for me.
Oh, and weirdly, Oh My Gourd, which I have had. I mean, we've had them all in various guises in the past. I prefer this, and Propeller kind of brings up the rear.
I'm starting to appreciate the fact that the Propeller is the only one that's really doubling down on the spice. So when you go back to it, it reminds you of spice, where the Oh My Gourd and the Breton are kind of,
Yeah.
I think the problem I have with the Propeller is that pumpkin is the biggest word on this can. And it's not there anywhere in the drink.
You're right.
If it were like Propeller, spiced ale, and someone shouted the word pumpkin in the next room,
perhaps some pumpkin.
I would be much more willing to sort of allow it on its merits.
The pumpkin, perhaps.
It does feel a bit false advertising.
Perhaps-ish. Yes. However, the flavorlessness of the Breton makes you kind of appreciate the spiciness of the Propeller. And so in my mind, I can't quite decide how to rank all of that, since the Propeller, while less easy to consume, does remind you of the fact that there are spices involved.
It does have the most interesting, like, most reminiscent of pumpkin spice smell, I think. But it doesn't have the creaminess of.
God,
it's just not as enjoyable of a drinking beer.
Do any of these have the creaminess?
I think the Harvest Pumpkin Ale is adjacent to a cream ale.
I think it holds up. It is the one that reminds me of the the pie in the sky, this strange unattainable pumpkin ale that I hold in my head that I had one time like 10 years ago. And it does taste different than last year.
I'm going to now leave you with the Alan Parsons project playing in my head.
Pumpkin
And thanks
pie
to
in
you,
the sky.
Ross, the pie in the sky.
Yeah.
As soon as you said that, immediately it's now going to be swimming around in my head all evening.
I can read your mind.
But nice to meet you again, Tom. Even though I don't recall meeting you at Ross's wedding, and probably he doesn't either, because he'd probably had a couple of drinks.
No, because
pumpkin
you know
ale.
why? Because you know why? Because we're the maker
Why?
of fools. Looking at you.
I'm out of here.
It's
Good night.
very, very nice to meet you, Ian.
I'll just keep
Again.
singing Alan Parsons Project songs. That's fine. I want to thank Tom for being here, Ian for being here, James for almost being here, but Garrison, Propeller, Nine Locks, Breton, and Schoolhouse for contributing and having pumpkin beers available for us to drink. We're here every Wednesday, 8 p.m. to 9 and beyond for our live content here on youtube.com/@drinknstra. You can find us in all the podcasty places. You can occasionally find some of the excerpts up available on YouTube Shorts, Instagram, and TikTok, I think. Or you can go straight to the source at drinkns.unsupervised.beer. But I want to thank everyone for joining us, and we will see you again next week. Good night. That was Tom saluting. It's a podcast, man. You got to do the audio.
Salute.